Today's learning intention is adding and subtracting surds. The National 4 essential skills are identifying factors and knowing your square numbers, and you also need to be able to use your National 5 Just Learn skill of simplifying surds. So when adding and subtracting surds, they need to be the same type. For example, a root 2 can only be added to other root 2's, and a root 5 can only be added to other root 5's, and so on. It's like algebra, x's with x's and y's with y's. So example 1, if we have 6 root 5 plus 3 root 5, 6 plus 3 is 9 lots of root 5. Example 2, 5 root 7, take away a root 7. 5 root 7 take away 1 root 7 is 4 root 7. Example 3, 2 root 6 plus 10 root 6, take away a root 6. So 2 plus 10 is 12, but take away 1 will leave us with 11 root 6. Now try these examples on your own. Please pause the video. So 3 root 5 plus root 5 will give us an answer of 4 root 5. 9 root 3 take away a root 3 is 8 root 3. 8 root 7 plus 4 root 7 and then take away 1 root 7 is 11 root 7. And 1 root 6 plus 6 root 6 is 7 root 6, but then I'm taking away 10 root 6, which will leave me with minus 3 root 6. When the surds are not the same type, we need to simplify them as we've done in the previous video. So here we've got an example to illustrate this. We've got 3 root 2 plus root 8. So we can add these surds together due to the fact they are different, they are not the same type. However, root 8 can be simplified, and it will simplify to root 2, which will then enable us to add them together. So in our next line of working, I need to think of the biggest square number that will go into root 8 to simplify it. And the biggest square number that will go into root 8 is root 4. So I'm going to rewrite root 8 as root 4 times root 2. The first surd just gets copied down. Now we have 3 root 2 plus root 4 times root 2. Now I must take the square root of 4, which will give me 2 root 2. And now we can see we have the same surd. So if I have 3 root 2 and I add 2 root 2, that will give me a final answer of 5 root 2. Example 2. If we have root 27, subtract root 12. And here both of these surds are different, therefore we cannot subtract them. But we can simplify them to see if that will enable us to add them or subtract them here. So root 27, biggest square number that will go into 27 is 9. And the biggest square number that will go into 12 is 4. So changing these both and simplifying them down, root 27 can be simplified to root 9 times root 3. And root 12 can be simplified to root 4 times root 3. And here we've picked square numbers. 9 is a square number, 4 is a square number, and we can take the square root of these. In doing so, we get an answer of 3 root 3, take away 2 root 3. Now the surds are the same, we can subtract them. 3 root 3, take away 2 root 3, will leave me with 1 root 3 or just root 3. Now try these examples on your own. Please pause the video. So root 2 plus root 98, we can simplify our root 98. The biggest square number that will go in will be 49. So here we have root 49 times root 2, and the square root of 49 is 7. So our next line will be root 2 plus 7 root 2, which gives us a final answer of 8 root 2. Our next example, we've got root 32 subtract root 8, and both of these surds can be simplified. So the biggest square number that goes into 32 is 16. So root 16 times root 2 gives us 32. And we have the square root of 8, which will simplify to root 4 times root 2. From there, we have 4 root 2 subtract 2 root 2, and 4 root 2 subtract 2 root 2 will give us an answer of 2 root 2. And final example, root 75 and root 108 can both be simplified. A little clue is we're subtracting a root 3 at the end. So normally if we're subtracting a root 3 at the end, 3 will be a factor of 75 and 108. Now the biggest square number that will go into 75 will be 25, so that will be 25 times 3 is 75. And then the biggest square number going into 108 is 36. So 36 times 3 gives us 108. And both 36 and 25, because they're square, we can simplify them. So the next line will be 5 root 3 plus square root of 36 is 6 root 3, and then you've got our minus root 3 at the end. So 5 root 3 plus 6 root 3 will be 11 root 3. If we take away 1 root 3, it leaves us with an answer of 10 root 3. So today we've been learning about adding and subtracting surds. By the end of the lesson, you should now understand that surds need to be the same type in order to add and subtract, and you should be able to simplify a surd, enabling you therefore to add or subtract them.